What's up everybody? Welcome back to my channel. Today I have a fragrance video for you guys discussing my top favorite autumn fragrances of all time. I have been wanting to make one of these videos for a very long time. I am a huge fragrance lover and collector. So the fragrances that I have here are all warm and comforting and spicy and sexy. Just lovely, cozy, cold weather fragrances. These will be fragrances that will just give you an absolute mood. On this list, I believe there will be a fragrance for everybody. Some of them are oldies but goodies and some may be new to you. So I wouldn't say that these fragrances are in any particular order. I'm going from my likes and my enjoyable autumn fragrances to my absolute completely head over heels in love autumn fragrances. So without further ado, let's start with the first fragrance on my list. Bear with me, this is like an honorable mention. This is a discontinued fragrance, but you can still find it online, and that would be Alien Essence Absolute. If you've smelled the original Alien, you will most likely love this guy. It's Alien, but with incense and a lot of vanilla thrown in and a little bit of cashmere. And it just smells like root beer. It smells like a root beer float in the most wonderful way possible. Oh my god, it's so good. I don't know why they would discontinue this. Like, it just blows my mind that something this good could get discontinued. If you can get your hands on this, this smells absolutely gorgeous in the cold weather months, fall and winter. I would consider this a very special occasion or going out fragrance. I would see this one being a little more wearable than the original Alien. The original Alien is like a punch to the face. This one is more rounded, it's juicier. There's no booze in here, but it feels boozier. There's benzoin in here, and it's just so lovely. So if you can get your hands on this guy, it's a unicorn fragrance. Yes, you have to hunt it down online and it's a little expensive now, but if you can get your hands on it, I highly recommend it because it is just so unique and so beautiful. And I mean, who doesn't want to smell like a glorified walking root beer float? I mean, I do. Next on this list is actually a tie because they are both from the same brand. One's an oldie but goodie and one is a little more modern. Burberry Brit EDP and my Burberry Black. Now I do have the older formulation of Burberry Brit, but I believe the new one smells almost exactly the same. And oh my god. For a light fragrance, this is the most intoxicating light fragrance I have smelled ever. And as old as this fragrance is by now, and as much as people have probably heard of it, I really don't smell this on a lot of people, and it's just the most gorgeous vanilla almond scent with some lime and tonka bean in there. Oh my god, it's just heavenly. Now I do have the EDT, which I like to wear in the springtime and on rainy days. And the EDP I would say is for like cold, rainy fall days and nights. The combination of almond and lime, I never knew it could be so good. Oh, it's so heavenly. I picture wearing this in the rain with a trench coat and some rain boots, like walking to a coffee shop on an autumn day where the leaves are starting to change. It's an all occasion fragrance. You can wear it to work, you can wear it on a coffee date, you can wear it on a night out. Now the longevity of this fragrance I wouldn't say is stellar. It's light to moderate on this one, and it's more of a skin scent on me, but it is the loveliest skin scent that you will ever have, and anyone who gets close to you is gonna be like, oh my god, you smell so good. Oh, it's just gorgeous. It's a gorgeous fragrance. Next fragrance on this list is my Burberry Black, and this one I find that I can only wear it on really, really cold days. Like if it's not super cold outside, it'll be a little strong for me, but this is such a beautiful peachy amber fragrance. Oh, so good. Now, if it's not super cold, the rose note in here will be really strong, and I think it becomes too strong for warmer days whatsoever. So there is the original My Burberry, which is great for spring and summer. My Burberry Black is great for fall and winter. There's just a deep, syrupy, peachy note in here that is just so delicious. When you wear this, you are just gonna smell so sexy. I would definitely suggest wearing this on a date night. It is so gorgeous. I haven't smelled a fragrance that smells quite like this one, but like I said, if you do not catch this fragrance on the right day, the right temperatures, it can be quite suffocating. I know I'm saying this about a fragrance I love, but that's just the truth. If you're not wearing this when it's really cold, you might feel a little bit suffocated if you're not super into floral fragrances, which I am not. So if you catch yourself on a really cold autumn night, spray yourself with this. you'll be good to go. Very long lasting, very strong projection. This is such a winning fragrance for the price point as well. It's just very affordable and I highly recommend it. The next fragrance I have here is a little more on the unique side. I'm putting this one on the list because it is very, very fall, and that would be Kenzo's Jungle 𝘲𝙪𝙥𝙬𝙀. Pardon my pronunciation, I am trying my best with these fragrances, but I will fact check myself after this video.
L'éléphant.
Kenzo Jungle
L'éléphant
is such a beautiful spicy fragrance. Now this is also another strong one. The strongest note in this fragrance for me is the clove. Oh my god. This is just Thanksgiving in a bottle for me. It's very pumpkin spice, clove, fall dessert table kind of fragrance, but it's not sweet. If you're not into gourmands, but you're into spice, you will absolutely love this. So you're gonna be like a pumpkin pie without the sweetener. So if you wanna be a pumpkin pie without the sweetener, like if you wanna be a keto pumpkin pie, then this is up your alley. This has cardamom, clove, caraway, licorice. Oh my god, and is that divine. Now the clove is very strong. It is the most prominent note in this fragrance in my opinion. So if you are not a fan of clove on its own, you're definitely not gonna like it in here because this is like 75% clove in my opinion with just some complementary notes. I can smell the licorice, I can smell the cardamom, I get a little bit of the vanilla and the amber and the patchouli in the base. So in my opinion, I think this is a great fragrance to layer with other fragrances. Like if you want to sweeten it up, you can definitely do that by layering it with a vanilla base. Now I would probably layer this over, you guys are gonna think I'm crazy, so if you know 𝘲𝑪𝑖𝑑𝑒pt, that is just one of the most heavenly vanilla scents of all time. Now I might layer this with 𝘲𝑪𝑖𝑑𝑒pt and this would smell like a delicious spicy vanilla dessert if I did that. So this is a great layering fragrance for sure. Now this would be more Thanksgiving and Christmas for me just because of the spices in here. I almost feel like I smell cinnamon in here because the spice is so strong. So this to me is more like an in-between fragrance. Now I wouldn't wear this for early fall or for Halloween, but I would definitely wear this in November and like on Thanksgiving, a little bit closer to Christmas time. This is just a really nice late fall scent. Beautiful, beautiful spicy autumn scent. I wasn't gonna put this fragrance on this list because for a while I felt like it was, you know, just another gourmand, just another sweet fragrance until I started wearing it lately. And I've completely changed my mind. This fragrance is Paco Rabanne's Pure Excess, which, I mean, if the bottle just doesn't make you feel like fall and Halloween, I don't know what will. It's so gorgeous. Beautiful rose gold ambery color. And just that gold snake with the black cap. You guys know I love me some black and gold. So like this is just, what? Pure Excess is not a fragrance I expected I would put on this list until I started wearing it almost every day for the past few weeks. I don't know what happened to me, but I just started grabbing for this more and more lately. I don't know if my skin chemistry has changed since last autumn, but this fragrance on me now smells so beautiful on my skin. Now this is one of the sweetest fragrances that I have on this list, but it has a popcorn note in it, which is the reason why I bought it. The old formulation of Miss Dior Cherry is very hard to come by these days. I love the current Miss Dior and I was never able to smell the original Miss Dior Cherry that has the popcorn note. So it's so expensive to get your hands on a vintage bottle of that. So I figured I would try this guy out, which also has a popcorn note and is also very sweet. And to me, this does smell like Miss Dior, just a little bit amped up and with a popcorn note. Last year when I was spraying this on myself, I didn't really smell the popcorn note, but now I do, and it's just absolutely magical. This is such a beautiful, beautiful scent. It smells like, I wouldn't say salted popcorn, but it is like a caramely popcorn. There's a decent amount of notes in this fragrance, but I don't smell anything but caramel popcorn and vanilla and a little bit of white musk. That's it. This is just a beautiful, warm, cozy, sweet fragrance. Like if you want to throw on a sweater on a cold night and cuddle up and just smell amazing, this would be one that I highly recommend for this, and also again for a date night. As with most gourmands, this is just very edible, very delicious. Whoever smells you is just gonna want to eat you up with this one, I swear. Honestly, it's so good I gotta spray it on myself right now. This is not one I expected to put on this list, but here we are. Oh yeah, see, it's crazy, you guys. I cannot believe this popcorn note is here for me now. It's just unbelievable. I did not smell it last year. Last year when I bought this, I was a little bit disappointed. Like I liked it, but I wanted that popcorn note so badly because I just don't have the original Miss Dior 𝘖𝑪. So I didn't smell the popcorn in here and I was really sad, but now I do and it's amazing. So I highly recommend you guys try this out. If you can get a sample, I would suggest to do that first, because if you're looking for a popcorn note, you may or may not smell it as I did. So highly recommend Pure Excess. Now the next fragrance, I believe this is the most affordable fragrance on this list, but this is one of my favorite fragrances literally of all time. All time. I could spray this any occasion, day or night, even any season to be honest, but it's my favorite during the fall and winter months, and that would be Jessica Simpson Fancy. You guys, if you have not smelled this, please do so immediately, because this is, oh my God. Every time I smell this, I can't believe how good it is. This is just absolute caramel heaven, with vanilla and amber, a very juicy pear, and just, oh my God. This is as if you baked pears and then drizzled a bunch of caramel on top. Yes, caramelized pears, that's what this is. If there is any fragrance that complements fall time and just putting on a sweater and wanting to feel and smell absolutely the coziest you ever have in your life, this one is it right here. The others will do that job. This one is the best at that job. If you want top-notch, caramel, delicious, sexy goodness, then this is up your alley. Now this, it's good for the daytime, it's good for running errands, going out, a date night, intimate moments. This is the epitome of a fall cozy fragrance. It's very warm and juicy and rounded and delicious. This is the best celebrity gourmand fragrance I have ever smelled in my life. When people talk about celebrity fragrances, they get a little bit like, nobody really wants to like celebrity fragrances, which I think is really sad because some of them are fantastic, like this one. This is my #1 favorite celebrity fragrance of all time. This one is just, there are some niche fragrances that absolutely cannot beat this one out for me. Have to have it. I don't even want to know what life is like without this fragrance. I first bought this in 2015 and it was fall. It was like late summer going into fall, and it was when I was first playing The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt for the first time. And this, when I smell this, it just takes me back to fall days, cozying up with my sweater and blanket, just playing The Witcher and just living my best life. I really wish I could go back to those days, but I mean, maybe I will. I gotta spray this one too. Jesus. The next fragrance on this list is a beautiful honey tobacco fragrance, which is Back to Black by Kilian. Now this fragrance, you guys, now I didn't used to like any fragrances that were powdery, like baby powder, but this one is an exception, and I don't know if a lot of people would agree with me that this smells like baby powder, but to me it is quite powdery, and I think it's the combination of the cherry and the almond mixed with the tobacco, because there's cherry and almond, I believe, in Dior's Hypnotic Poison, and that one can smell a tiny bit powdery on my skin and also like Play-Doh, which I really like. But then it's so sweet and sensual and sexy and delicious with that honey note. Just picture yourself having a parfait that's topped with just cherries and shaved almonds and drizzled in honey. Like, that's what this is. And yes, there's tobacco in here, so maybe you're having a parfait topped with this cherry almond honey goodness, and then someone is nearby like smoking a cigar. That's what this smells like. This is very unisex. I know that there's benzoin in here and an oak note and some florals, but I don't really smell anything outside of the honey, cherry, tobacco, almond DNA. Like, this is just so heavenly. So if you want to smell ultra sexy, this is the way to go. There's somewhat of a dupe that I have for this fragrance. When I don't feel like using this one up, I will use this one, which is Max Velvet Teddy. Now this fragrance is supposedly a dupe for Tom Ford's Tobacco Vanille. I've actually never smelled Tobacco Vanille, and that's a problem, but I've heard that they are near identical and that it was actually formulated by the same person, if I'm not mistaken. It's just another beautiful honey tobacco fragrance that is a great substitution for Back to Black if you are in the mood for something that's a little darker and sexier and better for like a night out with a black dress and a leather jacket. Oh, it's just so good. It does have that powdery element to it again, but it's not overpowering. I would say this has just as great longevity and sillage as Back to Black. So if you don't like the Back to Black price point, I highly suggest picking up MAC Velvet Teddy instead, because although they're not identical, it will give you the same vibe. Speaking of Tom Ford, the next fragrance on this list is Tom Ford's Black Orchid Parfum. I am a huge fan of the original Black Orchid, but ever since the Parfum came out, this is the one I always reach for. It just has that added rum note, which, oh my god, it just makes it so much boozier and sweeter and just rounds out the fragrance and ties all the notes in together beautifully. In Black Orchid, every note is so strong and can be polarizing and is just in your face, loud. That's if you are just in a mood, just be super bold and confident. That's what Black Orchid is. Black Orchid Parfum is a little more tame, more wearable version of Black Orchid. Not in an eau de toilette kind of way, but in a sweeter, more approachable way. I think the original Black Orchid is best for winter time, as it is just much stronger and in your face. And I think the Parfum is absolutely perfect for fall because it's a little more rounded and it's sweeter and it's just very delectable and a little bit more wearable and approachable. So definitely a night out formal fragrance for sure, or maybe in a very specific business kind of setting, even if you want to feel a little extra confident. And I mean, how can you resist the gold bottle? Come on, let's be real. It's so beautiful. The next fragrance on my list, it's currently not in the Fragrantica database, but I really wish it was because it is that good. This fragrance is Luscious Pumpkin by Ganache Parfums, and it is just pumpkin spice in a bottle. Oh my god. I just really can't believe how on point this fragrance is. Next to my other cozy fragrances, this is definitely another one I've been grabbing for a lot lately. Like if I just want to be in that ultimate pumpkin mood, there's nothing better than this. This is just pumpkin pie spice, pumpkin spice latte, pumpkin pie in a bottle. This is perfect for layering with any of these other fragrances that we have here because it will just automatically add an extra dose of fall to literally any of these fragrances. And I do layer it with literally everything. Every morning when I wake up before I start work, I love to just throw this one on. I got my warm sweater with my pumpkin spice coffee in one hand and my Luscious Pumpkin perfume in the other, and I'm just going like this, living my best life and having my best just pumpkin spice fall wonderland. Luscious Pumpkin by Ganache Parfums is an absolute unintentional masterpiece in my opinion. He was going for the most ultimate pumpkin spice latte fragrance because he just wanted to see if he could, and he did, and he nailed it, and I am all for it. I don't care if that makes me basic, go ahead. But yeah, it's amazing, and this will just make you the pumpkin queen of the neighborhood, seriously. Now we are getting into the very top favorites. You just can't get any better than this lineup right here. If I had to choose 5 fragrances only to wear for fall for the rest of my life, it would be these 5 fragrances because they are just the epitome of fall. So this next one is yet another quite popular one for the fall and winter months, which is Replica by the Fireplace. We all know it, we all love it, because what would fall time be without By the Fireplace? I mean, this will just automatically make you smell like you've been sitting by the fireplace or by a bonfire, which is what I always do during the fall months. I love myself a really nice toasty bonfire. I like to layer by the fireplace with other fragrances, so it just amps it up and it makes you smell like fall and also a bonfire at the same time, which is just such a vibe. How could you not love that? Oh, it's so good. This is very chestnut heavy, which is what makes it really great for Christmas time as well. Very nice fall winter scent all around. This isn't too sweet in my opinion. This is just straight chestnut, cloves, and pink pepper, and it is just so spicy and woody. If I had to classify it as any type of fragrance, it would definitely be a nighttime fragrance, another cuddling up, nighttime sweater, like get a blanket and cuddle with somebody kind of fragrance. Very warm, very smoky, and very sexy. Versatile, can be layered on other fragrances, and you just really can't go wrong with this guy. The next fragrance on my list was a fragrance that was once discontinued, but they did bring it back last year, which is how I got my hands on it. I believe it was last year, or was it the year before? I can't recall for sure. Don't quote me on this. Not sure if they're bringing it back again, but it still should be available online somewhere for you guys to pick up. But the fragrance is Jo Malone's Ginger Biscuit, because you guys, this is just like the most delightful, spicy ginger snap cookie fragrance that ever existed, okay? Every single note in here is the epitome of fall. You have ginger, you have tonka bean, cinnamon, hazelnut, vanilla, caramel. Yet another cozy one. Great fragrance to layer with by the fireplace for sure. You're gonna smell like you're eating ginger snap cookies with a chai latte next to a fireplace. That's what this smells like to me. And I mean, that's just necessary in life. Now this is a cologne, so the longevity and sillage is not very strong, especially on me. I do have to spray this more often throughout the day for it to last, but it is so worth it. Oh, it's so good, you guys. Highly recommend it. These last three are literally my top 3 favorite fall fragrances of all time, and like, yes, I'm going to hype them up because they get me hyped. Whenever I think about these fragrances, I just get so excited that I can't even contain myself. I can wear the next 3 fragrances day and night throughout the fall, no questions asked, never be sick of them. Just absolute beautiful vibey fall fragrances. So the next fragrance on this list is one of my all-time favorite fragrances of life. If I was stranded on a desert island and I would only have a handful of fragrances with me, I think this would be one of them, and that is Elizabeth & James Nirvana Bourbon. This is just one of the sexiest fragrances I've ever smelled in my entire life, and I don't know how it's possible that there is no tobacco in here. There's only 3 notes. It's bourbon, vanilla, oak, and tuberose. I do not smell tuberose whatsoever, thankfully, because I am not a huge floral fan. All I smell is bourbon, vanilla, oak, and tobacco. But this is my go-to fall night, going out leather jacket fragrance. Like whenever I'm gonna wear a leather jacket, this is the only fragrance I'm gonna grab and spray all over myself. My husband and I really love to go to Hollow Weekends at Cedar Point, which is a really big amusement park close to us in Ohio. Every time we go, I always wear a leather jacket, and this is the fragrance I always gotta have on because this is just such a vibe. This is just gonna make you a fall bad bitch. It's that kind of fragrance. If you want to be that girl, I feel like this just gives you an air of mystery and makes you feel a little bit more powerful and sexy with that leather jacket in the cold weather. It's perfect. This fragrance is absolute perfection. Beautiful vanilla, very well balanced. I think there's tobacco in here. If not, the oak is just very smoky smelling. But regardless, it's gorgeous. Please pick it up if you don't own it already because it is just beautiful. Absolute top-notch fragrance right here. We're in the home stretch, guys. We're on the last 2 fragrances, and this next one is such a winner. It is one of the most unique fragrances that I own, and you guys may have heard of it before, but if you have not, let me introduce you to Angel Muse by Thierry Mugler. Now, I know you guys have all heard of the original Angel. It's a classic. I don't particularly like that one myself. It's very strong and polarizing, but Angel Muse is like in a whole nother dimension, and I don't even know how you can consider this a flanker of Angel because it does not smell like it whatsoever. This just smells like a spicy chocolate hazelnut dream, and I can't even put it into words, to be honest. But this smells like Nutella. It's Nutella with a little bit of patchouli and some spices. This is just a very gorgeous, sexy, mysterious, deep, dark fall and winter fragrance. I just can't get enough of it. Like the moment I smelled it, I fell immediately in love and I was like, yep, that's my ultimate fall fragrance of all time. Like I'm gonna be wearing that night and day. I've made quite a dent in her. This says a lot because I have quite the fragrance collection, and when you have this many fragrances, you don't really go through them that fast. I feel like this is a fragrance that I just can't live without. If it wasn't for the next fragrance, this would be my #1 for sure. This is just fall in a bottle. Like, I don't know what else to say. This has a great lasting power for the price point, and I highly, highly recommend it. It is just absolutely unique. I really don't smell this on anybody because for some reason everybody's just still wearing the original Angel. Like, hello, Angel Muse exists. It smells like Nutella. Why would you not want to smell like Nutella? I mean, honestly. And if you just want to smell like a fall queen, Angel Muse. So we finally arrived at my top favorite fall fragrance for 2021, and this is a fragrance that I actually discovered during the springtime last year. I was looking for a St. Patrick's Day fragrance, and I came across Gallagher Fragrances. Their logo is just like a Celtic little shamrock, and I was like, how perfect is that? I'm gonna try out some of their fragrances for St. Patrick's Day. Of course, I come across Rosé All Day, which is actually the most beautiful fall fragrance you will ever smell in your life. Beautiful in a way that it was very well crafted. It's very original. You can smell every individual note in here, and everything just smells so real and genuine, and just absolutely delicious. The notes are actually listed on the bottle, which is apple crisp, plum, dark rose, brown sugar, tonka bean, and stainless steel. This smells like a crumbly baked apple pie in a pie tin, and that is no joke. It smells exactly like a crumbly baked apple pie that just came out of the oven in a pie tin. And there's nothing better. Like, honestly, this fragrance is a powerhouse. It lasts all day. The longevity is through the roof phenomenal. Sillage is great. People will smell you from afar and be like, who is that? What is that smell in here? Who baked an apple pie? Who smells like a snack? I mean, you're gonna smell like a straight up snack if you wear rosé all day. According to 𝘖𝙧𝙥𝙧𝙯, there's sandalwood in here, which I do not smell whatsoever because sandalwood actually gives me a headache, especially in fragrances. Like, I can handle sandalwood incense, but when sandalwood is in fragrances, I get an instant headache and I cannot handle it. Like, mosey along, get out of here. I can't handle it, I can't take it. I've had to return several fragrances before because the sandalwood note made me physically sick. All I smell is just beautiful, spicy, baked apple pie goodness, and it's just very well-rounded, well-blended, well-crafted, classy, lovely, delectable fall fragrance. If you want to smell unique and apart from the crowd, I highly suggest picking this guy up. Gallagher Fragrances is a wonderful fragrance house. They make stellar, high quality fragrances, and Rosé All Day makes the #1 cut for this year's autumn fragrance list. So that was my list of my top autumn fragrances for 2021. I really hope you guys enjoyed it and discovered a few new fragrances that you might want to check out for yourself. It is a deep love and hobby of mine, and I hope to make more fragrance videos in the future. So if you guys like this one, please give it a like so I know that you did enjoy it. Comment down below which fragrances you will be wearing this season. I would really love to know. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.